that clearly works. I just have to quickly do something. All right. Whew. Yo. It says let go. Bum 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 cha. Bum 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 cha. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 cha. Bum 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 bum. Psh. Bum 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 cha. Bum 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 bum. Psh. Bum 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 cha. Hey, what's this? All right. Yeah, I guess you still have no idea what you're supposed to do in life. I mean, I know it, I'm doing it. Everybody else is just running around like a sad little puppy that got left on the side of the road. And yeah, I'm supposed to cheer for that or something. But, you know, I realized just earlier today, I was talking to somebody else, and I realized, you know, I have literally died and came back. So, you know, what's the big deal? Like, I mean, I've seen death. You know what that means. That means if you've seen death, that means you recognize it, because you know how death feels like. And if I look at this world and at the people, then I realize that everybody's already dead. Everybody has already died, right? No, these people don't exist anymore. Nobody exists in this world. They're all dead already. But how come that I'm so alive then? I don't know. You know, people walk around and they say that they're alive, or maybe they say they're afraid to die, or they want to die, but nobody actually tries. I mean, have you tried dying without actually killing yourself? Yeah, I've tried. And I got to the point where I got so close to death that I saw what it means to die. Well, what it means to die is you're going to dissolve. And that means no more of that. Well, if you ever get to the point where I was, where you literally dissolve because you really said, okay, you know, I'm gonna do it. You know, I would never cut my wrists. You know, I would die in a kind of a healing way, in a wholesome way, in a I take it all in, yeah? You know, distance myself from all the ideas and beliefs that I used to have. And I did that. I did that to the verge of dissolution, transcendence. And if you do it like really determined, you know, I can't tell you how to do it. You know, I can't tell you how to do it. That's what something, you know, that comes from your heart that tells you what you are supposed to do in this life. I did what I did, and I came out quite resolute. And that's why when I see people, yeah, like everyone I meet, and I see how they are supposed to be alive, but they're just dead because they're afraid of life, because they're afraid of death. And, you know, I don't really care anymore what I say here, right? I don't really give a shit. You know, I stand here, I do what? I hold a stick, so what? I don't care, right? You know, I don't care if you all think I'm crazy, because I know that it's the opposite. I know it's the other way around. Because, you know, you all talk about living, but you are already dead, you know? At least I was serious about dying, and suddenly I was alive. And here I am, right? And then people, they watch porn and they're like, oh, I'm so ashamed I've watched it. For what? For what are you ashamed? For wanting to be with a woman? For having sexual needs? Like for wanting love? How can you even be ashamed of that? I mean, that makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense to be ashamed, to want to be with a woman, to want to be in bliss, to want to merge back into the ocean of love, yeah? So, I really don't understand what all this fuss about porn is. You know, I was like, you know, I thought, I'm gonna make a lot of content now, and I'm gonna say, you know, no fab, no fab. I even sent them an email, yeah? I sent them an email and I said, yeah, a few ideas, you know, I can do this for you. And then I realized, why? I mean, come on, it's just porn. I mean, you don't stand there with an AK-47 like bop, 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 right? I mean, you're not really doing anything bad. You're just looking at an image, watching porn. Sure, if you feel bad about it, yeah, I can put some, like, I can give you some reasons. I can give you some reasons why you probably shouldn't watch porn, right? I mean, there's a lot of reasons. Please tell me, I want to know. Oh, it's probably really bad. Yeah, well, technically, if you look at that all humans are energy, you know, we think, I'm a human, and if I make this, then this is me hitting myself. No, this is just your body hitting your body. It's like inflicting pain, you know. So you have to ask yourself why you, inside of you, you know, are screaming all the time. Like, what are you so angry about, right? What are you specifically so angry about? Because you could be standing here, you know, just fiddling around with your computer, and then suddenly, whoa, what's this? It looks like a sunrise. You know, I'm like Jesus. I'm standing here and I say, wow, I'm a bit like Jesus, you know. But I won't let you nail me to the cross, right? I don't care if you're a Christian, you know. If you want to put the blame on me, and I'm going to hold you the mirror right in your face, and I'm going to say, I'm a little bit sorry, but I know what I know what Jesus went through. Because he had to deal with people like all of you, right? Like people who walk around and they say, oh, these poor animals, let's have another steak for Easter. You know, let's celebrate Easter and eat some filet. It's like, what? Do you even know why we celebrate Easter? Doesn't that have to do with Jesus? Wasn't one of Jesus's teachings, stop eating meat? Hey, let's eat some meat for Easter and then celebrate. What are you celebrating? I mean, you know, I could get it if like the whole town would come together and then they would slaughter one pig, yeah? And that would be a celebration. I don't know why slaughtering pigs is like something to celebrate, but apparently for us humans here right now, it's okay to slaughter about 2 billion animals per year just for consumption, right? So that you can have your sausage. I mean, you could eat other things, yeah? You could eat other things. And I get it, you know, it's so annoying. I live with people and there's always food in the fridge. And as soon as I eat something, or I make something, you know, I make a certain amount and then I realize I have to eat that now for at least 4 days, because if I don't eat it, I have to throw it away and then I feel bad. You could say that shame is my motivation to keep eating, because what I actually really want to do is I want to stop eating. But now comes the problem, because I get pleasure out of eating, but eating also makes me tired, yeah, and a little bit sad. Because if I eat, you know, I move less, because then I'm heavy and then I have to poop. And if I have to poop, you know, it's really shit if you want to dance. So it probably would be much better to just have a really light diet. And I think one of the reasons why I keep masturbating so much is because I just eat a lot. I mean, what I realized, and now comes an interesting point, and I have been trying to make myself forget that I even had this experience. And this experience is, and I found it very, very unsettling. And you're going to like, what is he suggesting? What is he going to say? What's the solution to my problem? The solution to your problem. You know, now comes your greed. Tell me, I want to heal. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit nasty, my friend. It's gonna be really nasty, even more nasty than watching porn, because that's at least soft, right? I mean, watching porn at least is soft and like, yeah? So what I'm trying to suggest is fasting. Ooh, that's a tough. What do you mean I should stop to eat? Well, not forever, at least in the beginning. You know, I sometimes think I would really like to stop eating forever, because I would have no problems with my teeth anymore. You know, I wouldn't have to worry about any kind of fungal overgrowth, you know, because my body would just take care of that. And I think I could actually do that, because I shine like the sun. And I think I can actually do that. You know, I don't really know yet, because it also takes a lot of practice. And because I've never done that. But it would be an interesting thing, because I also have the feeling that if I wouldn't eat, I also wouldn't have to sleep anymore. And that would be a real nice challenge for me, to just not sleep and not eat ever again until I decide to leave this place, and then I'd be dead. And I think that would be really nice, to be really alive for a certain amount of time. And when you get so bored with life, because I realized everything I did at one point got really, really boring. Yeah. So I have the feeling that I think at one point I would get so bored with life. I think I would get so bored with life that I would just say, all right, people, I've done enough, you know, have a blast. I'm gonna leave now. So I can't really explain to you why I am the way I am, but I never had the feeling that masturbation was really that bad. I think I felt like it because I thought something was wrong with it. But what is wrong with it? I mean, I don't really know. I mean, if you feel like masturbating, then go ahead and masturbate. But then enjoy at least masturbation. But you will get eventually to the point where masturbation is just so boring, you say, I'll rather be with a woman. You know, that's kind of my method. I just do the things until I'm so sick of doing them that I automatically stop with it. Right? I just drink so much coffee until I'm so toxic and so acidic that I naturally want to drink less of it. So the question arises, why would you want to stop watching porn? Well, there's all kinds of reasons. Because maybe you just want to do other things instead, like standing around, you know, doing this and feeling good about it, right? Now, I realized that after I had died and I came back, and this is my standpoint, this is my belief, this is what happened to me. I literally did die, and that's why I appreciate life much more than most of you people. Yeah? Because if you have died and you realize what it means to be dead, then you actually say, hey, maybe I'll try living for once, instead of just dying. And so suddenly you realize, hey, what have I been doing all this time? Sitting around, watching movies, masturbating. I could have been with a woman, had a family, and done stuff like this here, right? I could have trained my body. I could have learned how to paint. I could have, I don't know, dropped the staff, and then picked it up again and continued, right? This is how you make an experience, right? This is how I learned to at least, work on things, right? I'm here to learn things. So I'm learning living. I tried dying, I like living a bit better. So I do the things that keep me alive, which as at the moment, I eat certain things, I sleep a certain amount of time, and I struggle up mountains and mountains and mountains. And the other problem is, I don't really know, right? There's a part in me that still feels kind of dead. And that part of me knows that I really want to be with my wife. I really want to be with my wife, yeah? And apparently that still takes a lot of time. And maybe until I haven't stopped masturbation, because it does somehow carry a certain weight. And why is that? Because you have to see humans as forms of energy, right? So you have to imagine that what you are extends over what you think, It's like, oh, this is a body. No, it's just a form, right? It's a form, and it seems like it's solid, but it's actually not solid. It's not solid. It's, it's right. It changes, I have seen literally the face of people shifting in front of my eyes. It went from one expression, not just an expression, it was just the whole thing. It was like an emotional layer. I cannot express what I saw there, but I've seen things like this. I have seen faces behind faces of people. And that wasn't always on psychedelics, sometimes even without, right? Sometimes in darkness, I looked at somebody, they had a face, and suddenly whoosh, something happened and the face changed. How am I supposed to explain that to you? What is that? Is that a trauma? Is that a possession? Is that demonic possession? I don't know what it is. But the face changed. And afterwards, the face was different. I can't even tell you what I did. I didn't really do anything. But something happened. And I've seen literally people walking around. That was sometimes during some kind of ceremony, and somebody came in. And I saw him talking, and I saw behind him like a second face or something. What is that? What is that? Is that the real self? I don't know. Is this like layers and layers and layers and layers with each kind of different faces? Because every time I go through one of my phases, I feel like I stretched out a little. And so, yeah, sure. I mean, if I want to watch porn, then go ahead and watch porn. But just remember that if you are a form of energy, I can connect to other forms of energy. And that means, we all talk about rape and it's, emotional abuse. Yeah, that already happens when somebody sends you really negative thoughts, right? If somebody really hates you, you can literally feel that hate until you know how to close yourself off from this hate. So if you just start feeding them love, for instance, if you feel a really strong hate from a certain direction, what you can do is you simply send a lot of love there. And that takes a lot of practice, because you actually have to realize that somebody is sending you hate. And so you just send love there. But for that, of course, you have to have love to send, yeah? To send. It's a very important concept. You have to have something to give in order to stand here like me and talk about what I'm saying without allowing comments or a chat. Because most people that give on the internet, You know, they want comments and they want likes. Yeah, sure, I look at who sends me something, but I'm trying to get away from that. Because, you know, I don't want to post art to get something out of it. I want to post art to inspire people to make their own art, and maybe to advertise that I'm also selling them with NFTs, which then gives you ownership of the art, which to you, because what purpose would it serve to buy an image from an artist? Well, if you want to connect to his energy, and in that way you could say, you know, I'm going to invest in him, you know, because then there's an energy exchange. You know, I give energy, and in a way he's going to get something back with that. It actually may be able to transform his life. But yeah, I can't really say that to people because they're probably not going to believe me. But I know these things because I've seen them and I've felt them, and I just know it. And that's my belief, right? And I can have that belief and nobody can take that away from me, right? So as long as I'm not talking about Corona here, I can basically say most of the things that I want to say. And that's also kind of interesting, isn't it? You know, like censorship wise. You know, why there would be an interest, but I mean, of course it's quite obvious, but only if you look at it. And maybe you have to know how death looks like in order to understand why people would have an interest to censor certain topics. Yeah, see, now I just refreshed my Instagram page and still not a like on my newest image. Yeah, I get it, people are kind of afraid because if they have the feeling that I have seen death, then to them I look like fear, right? I look like their fear because, you know, I'm basically talking to you from the other side. You know, I'm talking to people who live in fear from a place of heaven, right? I'm talking from a place of bliss. And in this place of bliss, I can stand in my room, you know, I can dance, and then I can go, and then I can actually masturbate without feeling like, oh, I just masturbated. Because it's not the masturbation that makes you feel like, it's just you. It's just you because you sit around and you're lazy. You know, I've never really been lazy. Not really. I always found this speck of light that motivated me to do at least something. Otherwise, I wouldn't know how to do all these things. So it wasn't really that I just hammered myself with I don't know what and then came out the way I was. You know, I was already like this when I came here. You know, some beings are simply born like that, but the thing was, you know, sometimes also we forget. We forget because we get drawn into other people. And that brings me, of course, back to the concept of we are all energy. Because what does that mean when we say we are all energy? That means that if you look at an image, let's just stick with an image, of another woman. We just say it's a woman now. And you really concentrate on that image. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, and then you masturbate to her. Then she's gonna feel that. And now the question is, in what kind of mindset are you going to masturbate? A part of me says it doesn't matter, but I believe to a certain degree it does matter because it matters how you feel about it. Because you can masturbate still with a bit more love. It's hard. But you can also masturbate like, oh, you stupid bitch, I'm gonna really fuck you. You know, if you do it like this, then, you know, you're basically raping her. I mean, you're gonna rape her anyway, emotionally and energetically, which is why it would probably be best for women to simply stay out of the internet. And if they would put pictures up, to never put pictures of their cleavage and, you know, never post images that like show their butt and stuff. Unless they are really conscious about what they're doing. But I would suggest to women in this kind of system to simply stop doing that. Because you invite all kinds of weird, sick people into your energy field. And since you're doing it subconsciously, you have no way of changing that. And this also explains why couples that start with doing porn, right? They have a nice sex life and they like it, and somehow they think, oh, let's make money with that, which is pretty stupid. You know, the real reason why they start making money with porn, or they want to share their sex life, is because they have problems to connect with each other on an energetic soul-to-soul level. So they are trapped in this, you know, materialistically, from the outside, it looks really awesome. Oh yeah, you know, it's like looking at her breasts wiggling, and you're like, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, you're so sexy, oh yeah. Yeah, that is exactly not what Tantra is. Because Tantra is having sex based on a feeling of deep connection with each other. And then holding that feeling, which you could call love. You could also just say it's about channeling energy and then maintaining the flow of energy. And you could then even say that the man is the mountain of self, that the woman is going to climb. And the man first has to climb the mountain. You know, there are differences in men and women, what they have to do here. You know, in traditional societies or traditional gatherings of people, right, they usually had some kind of psychedelic agent, right, that somehow helped them to break through the barrier that surrounds us, the veil. Yeah, and cannabis, for instance, it's too weak. It's too weak. Coffee is too weak as well. For anybody who still doubts that coffee is a psychedelic substance, yeah, do your own research, right? Based on actual observations that you made yourself. Because the only way you could ever realize that coffee is a psychedelic substance is if you would stop drinking it for a while and then drink it again and then make experiences like how you feel. Because we say that psychedelics alter your consciousness. Well, everything you take into your body alters your consciousness. Which means that if you put a lot of porn into your body, that it alters your consciousness, right? That's what it basically means. So if you want to have a loving relationship with a woman, then it's probably best to simply stop watching porn. Because if you just want to stop watching porn for no reason, just because you think it's something bad, then I see no reason why you should do that. Because simply watching porn, to me, it's not as bad. I mean, what is worse? I mean, hating yourself? I mean, if there is a woman that participates in porn, then she does that willingly, despite her ignorance, right? I mean, you could say she's ignorant, but maybe she just has the wish to love man, yeah? Maybe she simply wants to love and please man for whatever reason. For whatever reason, maybe she wants to do that for money, or she thinks she wants to. Maybe she just wants heaps of guys to please her, or she wants to please heaps of guys. Maybe that's what she came here for. Because look at this world. We're kind of lacking love. So maybe there's a woman that has a lot of love. And maybe that explains why most women that want to give love have no interest in me. Because, you know, I can give love already. So, you know, they can't really give anything to me anymore. So I think a woman that would want to be with me would want to have love, because I have a lot of love to give. I mean, just look at my content. I mean, if that's not love, then what is, right? This is all out there for free. It's all out there for free. You know, you don't hear me talking all the time, buy my book, buy my book. Yeah, I say it. Of course, I do say it because you have a right to know that I've written books. But I don't like drone on about it. I don't constantly nag you people about subscribing to my channel. You know, this is like the safest space for anyone to be in, because I don't need you to do anything, right? I just want you to be there and listen to me talk, and you just get out of it what you want to get out of it. You know, there's no requirements. I don't give a shit if you sit there and masturbate. Maybe you think, oh yeah, that guy's really sexy. You know, go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. You know, jerk the shit out of your penis. You know, if that's what you want, but I think what you want is actually love. And what I realized is that you can't get love from masturbation. No, you actually have to work for that. You have to really work off your ass. Because what is love? Yeah, it's like a feeling of peace. Yeah, you're in peace. And that's why, to me, it was essential to also learn how to get to love on my own. Because I knew I could do it. I just didn't want to because I was lazy. Yeah, and that's, I think, a lot of people have that problem. I think most of us could do it, but they just don't want to. No, I'd rather have a woman love me. Yeah, because self-love is a bitch, man. Because you hate yourself, and so you want a woman to love you, but you will never be able to accept her love, because you actually don't think you deserve to be loved. So you have to love yourself first. You have to love yourself first, and when you manage, then you realize you have so much love to give. No, where do you start? My God, I have so much love to give, I'll just start sharing it all on the internet because I want to be free and I'd rather make money doing what I love than working for assholes that just want money, right? So you suddenly see the potential in you giving love to the people because you realize most people, they pay love with money. Yeah? And so they think, oh wow, that guy's so full of love, I'll give him money. And that's what you hope also if you want to be independent, right? Because freedom also means you also have to kind of work for that, right? You have to be a bit smart about it to really get out of this weird system of ownership. Yeah, owned by the state. That's what people are. They're being owned by the state. You're being born at a young age and your parents are being convinced heavily to sign you over to the state. Yet they sign a contract with the state. This child belongs to you. And then you get a tax number as a child. Yeah, and even dogs are being owned by the state. You have to pay tax for your dog. Even if you clean away your own shit, in Germany at least, right? So there's even, when you are in church, you have to pay tax for church. So just think about it. It's like supposed to be God's representative. They force you to pay money for that. I mean, shouldn't they do really good work and then they get money in return because they do good work? No, here they have to force it because they actually don't do good work. They just sit around saying, we are Christians, we are God's representatives. But if you say, I hate Christians, they say, well, you're a devil. It's like, oh yeah. What's with the other cheek, right? What's with being in love and saying, hey, I love you very much? No, let's rape your children. So, shame comes from a lot of places. And I really see no reason why you should punish yourself for anything. Like, why should you punish yourself for watching porn? If a woman ends up in porn, it's still her choice. Do you know why it is her choice? Well, let me tell you. Because there are women out there who get treated very badly. I mean, just think about this typical story. There's let's stick with a guy, right? Just to take the opposite side. We don't have to talk about women. There's a guy and she grows up in the Bronx, in the worst place in the Bronx. And let's say his father gets shot and his mother is a prostitute. But for some reason, unlike all the other boys that are like him, that have no fathers and mothers that are prostitutes, or alcoholic fathers that beat them all the time, this man or this young boy sees an opening and he says, I don't know why, but I believe in myself. And I'm just going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to be really, really strong. And then he starts working. He starts believing in himself. And what people come, they say, oh yeah, what are you doing? You're so cool. Or they say, what a douche, yeah, you're studying really hard because you want to have a degree or something. Want to get out of here? You think it's so bad? Yeah, he just leaves them all behind and he goes and does his thing. He doesn't end up doing porn or selling drugs. There's always this minority of people who simply do something else. And then you have women, that get beaten by their fathers, that get, I don't know, really treated like shit by a lot of people, and they grow up as very strong women. And they find some kind of strength inside of them. They don't end up watching porn. You know, what I realized is that it's often the weak people that start doing porn. Because me, for instance, yeah, I thought about doing it. I thought about it. I had the idea of filming myself, just doing my own, I don't know, oil masturbation show. Yeah, I got to that point, but then I realized, why? You know, I can just do this. Because doing porn is like, you have nothing else on your plate. I mean, your body is there anyway. Can't you teach yourself anything? I mean, you could teach yourself to juggle and then simply start filming yourself how you juggle all day. And you know who you are going to attract? Millions of people that want to learn how to juggle. And because you know how to juggle so well and you do it every day, like la 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 la, and they say, hey, what is that guy doing? That looks really fun. And then they're all gonna jump onto the juggle train. Because 95, maybe even 99% of the population actually have no direction. They are followers. 99% of the population are followers, and 1% are actually real creators, like people who really, really create. You know, you have people that want to create, but that's more like people who follow people that actually create and they want to be like them, but I can never be as good as him. You know, they're kind of stuck in that feeling, you know, I don't know what he does, but he's so good at doing it, I can't do it. What's it matter, man? Just do what you like to the amount and degree, you know, that you can do it, like with your capabilities. You do the best that you can, but I can't help it. I mean, should I do less? I can't help it that I can do all these things and that I taught myself how to do them, but I can't help it. Should I just stop doing them because all of you are like, why does he do all these things? He makes it look so easy. Yeah, sure. I mean, I can produce these kind of artworks like nothing. I can do them like nothing, and they all look different. I have no idea how that works. I know how it works because I'm open to change. Yeah, as soon as my art starts to piss me off, I just start filling myself with more love, right? And when there's love, you know, there's change. I mean, all animals look kind of different, don't they? It's kind of similar. So my art is also kind of similar, but also different. And so when you realize how good you start to feel when you do art, whatever you do, you know, whatever kind of art you're going to do, it doesn't really matter. You know, anything that has nothing to do with the way you look. Because that's what porn is about. You just look at, how do I look? Oh, I'm sexy. I have a good butt because I work out a lot. And then you've got nothing else going for yourself than just having sex. I mean, you could go around filming elephants having sex and then posting that on Pornhub. Because elephants don't have to do anything for their ability to have sex. You know, that's like, I said that already, filming yourself taking shits. You know, that's what porn is. It's like filming yourself taking shits. It's the dumbest thing you could ever do to stand out. It's like, you know, people start making porn and then others come, oh, that looks like fun, I'm gonna do that. Yeah. And then, you know, you have these couples like Leo Lulu, yeah, like My Sweet Apple. You know, just look at them, how stupid they are. You know, they had something going for themselves. They thought it was love, yeah? And they were so trapped in, oh, we have awesome sex, let's fuck like animals. Because they never connected on a heart-to-heart basis. They were trapped in their root chakra and they tried to fuck it out of them. But what they realized, the excitement that you have in the beginning kind of faded. And they were too lazy to work for that. So what they started doing is they did porn. And what does it mean if you do porn? It means you bring other people into the room. Because I create a room here. You know, if somebody would actually watch this, which, you know, I doubt at this stage, then you would be kind of in here with me. And I'm aware of that. So there's certain things I do while you're watching, and there's certain things I don't do. Like, I wouldn't take a shit now in front of you. And I wouldn't masturbate because, you know, and I also wouldn't have sex. And there are things that I simply wouldn't do. You could say, oh, it's a little dishonest, don't you think? Yeah, but, you know, nobody would watch me because then they would be so ashamed. And then there's like some people that would watch it, but, you know, I'm not an animal in that sense. You know, I only talk if I want to really share something. And people seem to have a problem with pornography, but if you just think about pornography as the equivalent of taking shits, then suddenly it's not really that appealing anymore. And the other point is, just look at these, Leo Lulu. If you don't watch porn, don't get into it, or maybe do, I don't know, it's like, for a while it can be interesting, it can be even fun. But it's also your own responsibility, right? I mean, if there's children watching porn because their parents can't keep them away from it, it's the child's responsibility in the end. If the child wants to know something about porn, I watched a lot of porn in my life, and I learned a lot about it, and I overcame it. So, we know it's possible, and I overcame it by just watching as much porn as I wanted. But looking at it and understanding it, what do we see there? So what I saw was, and also how do I feel about it, after years of doing it, I just kept doing it, It's like, if you want to stop eating pizza, maybe eat as much pizza as you can, and then you're going to get sick of it. It's just how it is, because you're going to realize, nah, it's boring now, right? It's just like, nah. It's like Rick when he opens the store across the devil's store and he starts selling, how's that called? Purge. Curse Purge. Curse Purge Plus, right? It's like Curse Purge Plus. Curse Purge Plus. And then he keeps purging curses for all these objects. And then as soon as the devil goes bankrupt, he just says, oh fuck, that's a little complicated. And then the guy comes with the tax form and stuff, and he just, yeah, I'm out of here. Just puts petrol on everything, burns it, and leaves. That's what I did with porn. Okay, I have to admit, I just went back to it because I was a little frustrated and I just didn't feel like dancing it out of myself. Maybe that's the habit that comes also from drinking coffee, but so I work with transitions. I mean, I haven't watched porn in a while, and I just thought, what the heck? And, I didn't watch another guy in there, I just watched a woman masturbating. So to me, what's the problem? It's a beautiful woman, I like vaginas. It's not really what I want, because what I want is sex. What I want is to be with a woman, but right now, look at me talking, I talk like an idiot. Because if I would really be determined about having sex with a woman, I would really build up my energy. Build it up until I really shine like the sun, yeah? Until the sun shines out of my ass, yeah? All day long. And then the woman would come. But as long as I'm like, letting it, wasting it, yeah, she's probably gonna say, well, I'm already interested in you. You can't be my husband, right? You can't be my husband. And then I think, yeah, well, apparently I'm not that. That's my general standpoint. Because I do hear her inside of me. But I realize, I don't know. If she doesn't want it, because she thinks I'm not good enough, because apparently I'm watching porn, or I'm masturbating, if I give in to these urges, if she doesn't want to be with me then apparently I'm not it. Then apparently I am not it. And then what? Well, then she just has to find somebody else to play with. Because at the moment, this is who I am. Right? So if a woman wants to love a man, and she's like, you're watching porn, well then help him get through this. That's what I think. Why do I have to be always super strong? Why do I have to be alone in this? I as a man, I'm frustrated. I feel like I really need to sleep with my wife. But she's just denying me that. Literally denying me that because she thinks, I don't know what. I'm too proud for this. I'm not ready. I don't know what she thinks. But the point is, some women are like this. Oh, when you watch porn, you're gonna get nothing from me. Why? That's especially when you should. Just pay a little more attention to your husband because maybe he just needs love.
You know, so many women, they have such a stick in their asses. They just walk around, you know, I'm a real princess, you have to love me. No, I don't. I actually don't. I can stand around here all day. All day. You know, I can shine my light, wow, into the internet, and I can do this. Yeah. And if I get a little frustrated, you know, I can shake my hips, I can dance a little, and if I'm still really frustrated, whatever, I'll just watch porn and masturbate. Because I don't have to be with a woman. I can do these things myself. So it also should be in the interest of the woman. Now you're getting it, right? It should be in the interest of the woman to be with a man. Because a man can live his life like this. You know, I can never get pregnant. To me, being creative is getting pregnant. You know, I can have sex with myself by being creative. And I can give birth to my children in the form of art. You know, yeah, sure, I would rather be with a woman, but if no woman wants to claim me or stays away for whatever reason, you know, I don't have to twiddle the tune of her clitoris, right? I don't have to twiddle the tune of her clitoris. Plus, at the moment, I just can't because, you know, I'm just stuck here until something else comes up, right? Until somebody calls me and says, hey, here's lots of money, you know, come and do this or something. I'm just waiting to be discovered. You know, I hope it's like that that's the hope that never dies, and I'm on the verge of being discovered. But you know, at this point, you know, who could have still not discovered me? It's like, how is that even possible? How could somebody not see what I'm doing and think, oh wow, he seems to have understood something that most people don't understand, because he keeps making art while most people just sit around, you know, waiting for art to come. You know, I'll just shake it out of my hand. It's like, oh yeah, another painting. Oh yeah, another painting. You know, I know how to get there. It's not just, I don't just do this. You know, I go to great pains. You know, I still do my suffering. You know, I do my sadhana, which is spiritual work. So, you know, when I still want to watch porn, then I realize, okay, maybe I still have some topics in my root chakra, like shame. Maybe there is something about it after all. But shame itself is nothing bad. It's just a form of energy. You know, it's like a bit maybe unclean energy. So how do I do that? How do I work with that? Well, understand where it's coming from. Right? You have to look at your childhood. I don't know. I want to eat something. I want to eat. I want to sleep. I don't know. You know, sometimes we masturbate because we're actually overexerting ourselves, because we think we have to do extra good. Yeah? Just a second. I just want to see something. Just real quick. Oh, wow. Just look at this. Somebody joined me for 51 seconds. It's like, oh wow, 51 seconds. That's all they managed. It's like, I'm gonna have a look. You know, if I would meet somebody like me, you know, I would think, wow. But I really have the feeling there's just nobody else out there. You know, when I'm here, I just have the feeling nobody is there that is somewhat conscious. I really have the feeling I'm the only one that's talking about this stuff and goes to this kind of depth. I mean, I thought for a while Russell Brand does that, but he doesn't really do it. I mean, he understood something, but then if he understood something, then I don't know why he reads the news to people. Like, he could just be talking about things on his own. You know, why does he need to interview a lot of people? Yeah, because he feels like he's not enough. So people who do porn have the feeling they're not enough. And then they open up to the energies of other people that then come into their bedroom, literally. It's like having a giant orgy with lots of people. That means you as a man failed to uphold your wife and keep her safe because you invited other men, and that's why you never talk about your sex life to other people. You keep your woman safe. You never boast about your sex life. Because then other people will start to fantasize about her, and you invite them to do so, which is something that you should stay away from. It's just what I'm saying. And so, to stand here for me and to speak when nobody, really nobody, gives a fuck is really stupid. And why am I even doing that? So stop.